Rockingham Speedway, the site of round number 15 of 36 in the RSR Asphalt Assault Series, presented by Inside Sim Racing and Derek Spear Design, here on ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network. Tim Terry and Dakota Ehrman here to call all the action for you. Laura Lawson, JD Webb in the production hauler, pushing all those important buttons for us to get on the air this evening. And Dakota, Rockingham Speedway is the site for tonight's race. A very unique 1 mile racetrack that always produces some great racing.
It also produces some interesting little things, especially with these cars. These cars like to bounce around on the racetrack. I think we'll see a lot of bumps playing into how the drivers have to drive the racetrack, and what happens when we see cars get side by side. It's definitely going to be an interesting race here tonight, and I can't wait to get started, Tim.
Before we get into this evening's race, let's look back a week at the Dover race that was held, round number 14 of this series for the RSR Asphalt Assault Series, and it was Jose Gonzalez taking away his third win of the season. Gonzalez has really poured it on here, coming in to this little summer stretch. Stefan Marinak, your point leader. Second place, Clint Monahan's sub Chad Cole finished in position number 3 with Adam Roberts and Stephen Almendo completing your top 5. Campbell, Harvey, McGuire, LeVere, and Abbott completing your top 10 in that race. And it's another 1 mile racetrack that we ran at last week at Dakota. Two different changes here to this racetrack compared to Dover. We might see a few cautions here, but we saw a couple of starts of some green flag runs there last week as well. This could be a sign of things to come here at Rockingham this week.
Connecticut, Dover is a really interesting racetrack, and it definitely is like a roller coaster. But when you come to a place like Rockingham, it's way different. I gotta say, just with the way that the bumps just completely throw the car around. They'll throw the car, up a lane, up 2 lanes. You really have to, I would say, focus on how you drive the car, with those bumps, and that's what makes it so unique compared to Dover, and the way it's shaped as well. But definitely last week, solid run for Stefan Marinak. Second, like you talked about, Chad Cole subbing for Clint Monahan came home third. Jose Gonzalez was the winner of the race, making up a few points on Stefan Marinak. Points leader, you talk about points. Marinak leading by 50 points over LeVere. Jose Gonzalez sitting in third, 59 points out of the point lead, 9 points behind LeVere. Matt Lacrosse sitting in fourth. He is 77 points behind Marinak, with Bobby Terrell sitting in 5th, 83 out. Clint Monahan sitting 6th, 117 out. Tied with John Abbott, who is in 7th, 117 also out. Eric Brundy sitting 8th, 123 points out, and he is no longer running that I know of. And Doug Ross sitting 9th, 129 points out, just 6 behind Brundy's, with Rhett McBride running at the top 10, 135 points out.
And when you look at that point standings, you see pockets of battles going on outside your point leader, let's say, of Marinak. You have LeVere and Gonzalez, 9 points between each other. Lacrosse and Terrell, there's a few points in between them, 6 points in between 4th and 5th. Then you have Clint Monahan, John Abbott. We mentioned Brundy's not here in this series anymore. Doug Roth, Rhett McBride, and add in Brian Harvey at position number 11. There's 20 points between 6th and 11th place. So if you are Clint Monahan or John Abbott and you have a bad run this evening, you could fall outside the top 10. We should mention as well that Matt Hoffman is subbing for Doug Roth this evening, and Doug Roth will not get points for this run. Too many subs in this quarter of the season, so he will not get a sub or get points for Matt Hoffman driving the 43 car, so that will not help Doug Roth's effort this evening. Rhett McBride is being subbed for by Justin Wilson in the 15. He will receive points for this evening. Got about 4 minutes or so before we go to the race. You talk about Rockingham Speedway. This is a track that was built back in '65 and has gone through a couple of transition periods. Of course, you look back to 2002, 2003, at the end of those seasons there where the track fell off the NASCAR, what was Nextel Cup Series schedule. It was purchased by Andy Hillenberg and now is run by Hillenberg and his staff at the Rockingham Speedway. Renamed it the Rock 4 turns. Turns are banked 22 and 25 degrees. Your straightaways banked at 8 degrees. And it's got that extensive history, as we mentioned, Dakota. The modified tour decided to come back to Rockingham in 2012. You had the ARCA series come back here a few years ago. The K&N East Series finishes their season at this racetrack. Frank Kimmel Street Stocks, UARA Stars, Legends and Bandoleros are really popular at this racetrack as well, whether it's on Little Rock in the back straightaway or in the infield in the Legends Road Course. And you look at these racetracks, and I think you've already covered it here, Dakota. It's the bumps. It's not only in 3 and 4. There's bumps in 1 and 2. There's bumps around this racetrack. The characteristics of this racing surface are unique. It's almost like a Darlington where it's so abrasive, and you got some bumps in here as well. It makes for an exciting race, and these guys will have to be on their toes all night long.
It definitely is. The bumps, like when you talk about, bumps being all over the racetrack, it's not like they're just running over these little bumps. If they miss their line a little bit, these bumps will throw these cars out, and that'll change their, lifting points, braking points entirely, or how much they have to lift, whether they have to lift. And that goes with whether they miss the line or whether they hit a bump wrong or something like that. So you really have to be careful when you're working around bumps and stuff like that. But this track, very historical, and I love the fact that it's got all these bumps. It definitely makes for very, very interesting racing. But tell you what, the ETV Rockingham pre-race briefing brought to you by the Professor, George Wood. The Cummer's here tonight. Brian Harvey has reeled off 4 straight top 10 finishes. Steve Almendo has 3 top 15 in the last 3 top 15s in the last 4 weeks. Stephen Herring's worst finish in his last 4 starts is 16th, and all 3 have jumped up in the point standings over the past week and especially over the past month.
You have a lot of comers and goers, as you mentioned, in this series, and these guys, when they come through the summer stretch, you look at these next couple of races, Dakota, that this series will tackle. We're going to go to Michigan next week. Michigan, obviously, a 2-mile racetrack. It's not wide open, but it's more of a wild card because everybody's really on top of each other in that racetrack. I know the Outlaw Truck Series ran there last night for RSR. Then you head to Road America, and then you're going to Daytona, which is wide open and a wild card as well. So you have this track at Rockingham, you have a road course in the next 4 weeks, and then you have 2 racetracks, one where you really can't determine your own fate, just go fast and turn left, and then Michigan where you have a little bit more power, but you're still playing around with the draft as well. So there's a couple of different racetracks coming up here in this series the next couple of weeks. You're going to really have to be on your toes to keep up with the points and make sure you're in a position to, if not win the championship, because Marinix looks strong this season, have something for maybe a top 5 run.
Yeah, definitely. And these coming races that are going to change things, I think, it's not really going to be as much in the driver's control. I mean, you talk about just Michigan. Michigan generally just a draft lock track here recently where, the cars are just kind of stuck together. It's like it's almost like they're just tandeming around the racetrack just, as soon as one gets to the bumper of another. So long as they have the draft, they can just keep going back and forth, passing each other. And it's the action like that we'll see next week. I have a feeling it's going to be really great, so don't miss it. But that is what we might see for the coming weeks, especially with some of the tracks coming up. I don't know what to expect. It's definitely going to be unique, and we'll shake things up to say the least, Tim.
Before we get going here this evening at Rockingham Speedway, 150 laps, going to be an exciting race here for the RSR Asphalt Assault Series presented by Derek Spear Designs and Inside Sim Racing. We are going to go trackside for our national anthem and opening ceremonies here this evening. The Cactus Cuties going to sing us through our national anthem this evening before we get going at Rockingham.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
And the virtual Thunderbirds with the flyover here. We are going racing at Rockingham in just a few moments' time. Cars are beginning to grid, so let's go down our starting lineup. On the pole, 15, Justin Wilson subbing for Rhett McBride with a 23.54 on the pole. Just 5 1,000ths behind him on the speed chart. Here comes Bobby Terrell in the 7.
How about John Abbott in the 10 machine going to roll off in the 3rd position with Clint Monahan in the 1. After Chad Cole subbed for him and brought him home to a 3rd place finish last week at Dover, he'll roll off 4th.
The Zaloop number 38 of Mark Bratcher rolls off from position number 5 to his outside the 4 of CJ LeVere, 2nd in points.
Jimmy North going to roll off in the 7th position in his 84 machine with the 81 of Steven Almendo rolling off in the 8th position.
A guy who really needs some luck in this series, Dave Lanza, will roll off in position number 9 to the outside. It's the 44 of Guy Snyder, the 4th, subbing this evening for Glenn Campbell.
J. Randall Watkins rolls off 11th in his 27 machine with the 85 of Nathan Bowers on his outside.
Augusto Gabaldoni will start in position number 13 to the outside, a driver who finished 2nd in the RSR Outlaw Truck Series last night. It's John Higman Jr.
How about Brian Harvey rolling off 15th in his 66 machine with the 21 of Matt Lacrosse on his outside.
Kyle Turiska, I believe, is our admin this evening, but if he's out here, he's going to start in 17th. And then your point leader taking a provisional this week, it's Stefan Marinek.
Doug Fleming going to roll off in 19th position in his 28 machine with the 43 car of Matt Hoffman subbing for Doug Ross rolling off 20th.
Douglas Wyatt 21st in the 12. Joey Hilton to his outside in the 40.
Wyatt Walt 56 car. He makes up row number 12 with the 50 of Bo McGuire.
And completing your field, it's Frank Coons and John Ellers completing your, I believe, 25 starters here as the 8 car, I believe, is one of our admins here this evening. Field working down the back straightaway, getting ready for racing for the first of 150 laps. And Dakota with a smaller field than what we're used to. These drivers, if they can get spread out, I think we might see some green flag racing here.
It is highly possible, and I think this has a good plenty of room just for the fact that it is Rockingham, and you got to be easy on the racetrack. So here we go, though, Tim.
Car number 15, Justin Wilson, going to lead the field to the green. The first racing Ford Mustang pace car is off. Wilson in command, and we are going racing. 15, Justin Wilson on the hammer. Green flag flies for the first of 150 laps, and it'll be Bobby Terrell sliding into 2nd, Monahan in a 3rd, and it looks like throughout about your top 10 or so, everybody getting single file right now.
Wilson got a really good jump on that start, and you see him get through turns 1 and 2. We got through him, excellently pulled away from the 7 and everybody behind him. Basically, almost have a battle for 2nd here. So one car, Clint Monahan, looking to maybe get to the bumper 7. As I say that, he falls off the bumper maybe a little bit here, Tim.
Monahan had the sub last week at Chad Cole, and Cole finished in position number 3. That is where Monahan runs right now in car number 1 as he falls off the back bumper a little bit of Terrell in the 7. Top 5 single file. The 4 car of CJ LeVere has company in Mark Bratcher in the 38, and he almost went up the racetrack, hit one of those bumps a little bit incorrectly in corner number 3. By the looks of it, just behind them, the 81 of Almendo up the racetrack. Guy Snyder, the 4th underneath, and Snyder's going to look to pick up that position in car number 44 as he will make the pass, and he will set his sights on the 2 cars in front of him, Bratcher, who tries to close in on LeVere in the 4.
Guy Snyder, most notably Monday night's Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, most notably 2 top 3 finishes in the past 2 weeks, one at Dover and one the week before, and both off of strategy, pit strategy. So Guy Snyder, no stranger to finishing up front. He ran really well. I do believe last season, the Full Throttle Cup Series, I have a feeling he could do very well in this car, as it is a little less horsepower than the Cup cars that they run on Monday nights.
Top 4 have separated themselves, and then it's back to position number 5. LeVere has company in Bratcher, and Guy Snyder, the 4th, and Snyder has closed in to about 3 car lengths or so between himself and the 38 car, and he's bringing Almendo with him. Almendo trying to keep pace with those 3 in front of him. Dave Lanza and Jimmy North complete your top 10. 84 way up the racetrack as he has company in John Higman Jr. in the 62. 62 looking under the 84 for 10th.
62 gets the spot. 21 now also looking to follow the 62 car. That's Matt Lacrosse, but thinks better of it. He's going to wait for just a moment as he heads into turn number 3. He looks low, 84 up the racetrack once again.
Saw a couple of puffs of smoke. Somebody may have just spun or half decently spun the 81 of Almindo going into corner number 3. He's going to hit a bump the wrong way, Dakota, and a couple of puffs of smoke from those tires there come up from that number 81 as he will lose a little bit of time, and Dave Lanza just behind him now. I believe we have a caution.
Yeah, we do have a caution on the racetrack for position number 23, car 48, lap 6. It is Frank Coombs coming off of, I do believe, turn number 2. Gets the outside wall, comes down the racetrack, collects the inside wall, puts it on its roof, and is able to, after stopping on the racetrack, backs it down, make sure he's on the bottom of the racetrack, then drives away, I do believe here, Tim.
And he was running in position number 23 all by himself, but it just shows how hard this racetrack can be to really hit your marks and really put yourself in the game. You got to continue to not mess up every lap, and when you're going over a bump, if you're a foot or half foot up from where you are, it could throw you off, and as you saw with the 48, could throw you in the wall. Here comes the leaders down onto pit road. Well, some of them on the pit road. Monahan going to come back down as he comes down to the attention of his crew, as do your leaders. It looked like Monahan was going to stay out there for a little while. CJ LeVere is the only driver in the top 5 to stay out. Everybody else, including Justin Wilson, Bobby Terrell, Monahan, and Abbott down onto pit road.
Yeah, even Marinak comes down pit road, points leader all the way in the rear of the field, 16th position, his 24 machine. He even came down pit road. Yeah, I think we saw last week, I want to say he actually stayed out, try to get some track position to help him get back towards the front. But here we are down the stalls, right side's up and down on all of the machines here. Only 9 laps in. Looks like 4 tire stops for nearly everyone. Monahan actually out very quickly. Must have been a 2 tire stop, I do want to say.
Gonna go back here and we'll see that it is a 2-tire pit stop, right sides on the number 1 of Clint Monahan. And you mentioned that number 24 car of Stefan Marinak as he sits on pit road. There was a couple of races ago where he was running, I believe, up at the top 5, qualified a top 5 spot, and came down on pit road in the first caution flag. I think Richmond, for some reason, or Iowa, or one of those short tracks come to mind. Nobody else came down pit road in the first 5 laps with that caution. He did. It ends up paying off for, I could be wrong, but it was either a win or a top 3 finish, Dakota. So Marinak has played some pit strategy here earlier in the season. It doesn't surprise me that he comes down on pit road on the first caution flag. And with a little bit of a shortened field, he's still got a long way to go. And he's got a few cars to pass, but I'm sure he'll be up there, and we'll be talking about him in the top 5 before this thing is over. CJ LeVere is your leader. He stayed out on the racetrack. And I believe he was the only one to do so. Clint Monahan in a second with those 2 tires.
This is going to be interesting. What you got to watch here on the restart, spinning tires. I don't think it's going to be much of a problem spinning the tires on a restart, especially in this car, as much as it would be on a car and maybe the Monday Nights, the Cup cars. But it will be maybe possibly a threat here. You got to watch out for people just losing it underneath them, especially those 2 on the older tires. And again, they will be a little slower here with the older tires and not the fresh tires, so they could be a little in the way. I don't know. Ford car though, he has to make up some points on the points leader, and he knows it. This is the best way to do it. Points leader currently sitting at 23rd position, and LeVere sitting in the lead position right now. He's got a bonus point for leading the lap. Marinak doesn't yet, so if it were to finish how it is, he would actually have a pretty good points day here.
Pace car lights are off. Next time by, we're going green. CJ LeVere, Clint Monahan, Justin Wilson, Bobby Terrell, and John Abbott, your top 5. Bratcher, Snyder, Watkins, Lacrosse, and Lanza, your top 10 at the Rock. As we get ready to go racing once again, we form up down the back straightaway as we ride on board here. This is going to be an interesting restart, Dakota. You get to see a little bit of a sights and sounds, a little bit of an onboard here as we get ready to rumble at the Rock.
Here we go. As the field gets set to work through turns 3 and 4, the pace car will dive off of turn number 4, and there will be a way to the D-shaped triangle.
Working through 3 and 4, CJ LeVere getting ready to put the hammer down for the first restart of this race. We have 11 laps completed of the 150 to run here this evening. Pace car into the infield, and CJ LeVere brings him up. Green flag flies, and a quick start for Lavere, Monahan, and Wilson behind side by side. Now the 15 ducks in behind the 1. Keep in mind, Monahan, 2 right side tires, Wilson, 4 tires on his race car as Bobby Terrell and John Abbott complete your top 5 as we roar down the back straightaway.
Looks here is 15 car. He got loose. He got the apron, got big time sideways down there. He saves it, keeps it on the racetrack, and gets going once again. The 15 car now getting passed by the 7. Comes back up the racetrack, tries to reclaim his spot before the 10 can get to him here as he heads into turn number 1 and 2.
And you know what? I think the apron saved him because he got in way too hot going into the corner, and he got that tire on the apron, that left side tire on the flat, and that might have been just enough to reset the balance per se and give him that short little breath to save that race car. So Justin Wilson could have been a lot worse. He's going to lose 1 position back behind Bobby Terrell, and now he sets his sights and starts putting some pressure on the number 7. Meanwhile, up in front, Clint Monahan in the 1, the Zaxby's Chevrolet, looking for the lead on CJ Lavere. Lavere has to play a little bit of defense. He goes up the racetrack a little bit, comes back down. It closes in. Your next 2 as well. Here comes Terrell, and here comes Justin Wilson.
Now it's on who makes a mistake, maybe, who gets up the racetrack a little bit, and who can get underneath and correct here as we watch the 1 car makes up a little bit of momentum on the 4 off of the corner, as well as the 15 on the 7. 15's going to look underneath the 7, heading into turn number 3, going to be side by side for 3rd position now, and it looks like the 15 might be able to take it here.
And I watched that car going into the corners, the 4 and the 1 in front of them play a little bit. A bumper tag there, Lavere and Monahan. Monahan to the inside, up the racetrack, he puts the 4. Clint Monahan in the number 1 on the inside, looking to take the lead away from the number 4 of CJ Lavere. It looked like a well-orchestrated ballet going down the front straightaway the last time by. The 15 now underneath the number 4 of CJ Lavere for position number 2 as the Snyder machine nearly loses it at a corner number 4. He keeps it straight. It's side by side for 2nd, and Justin Wilson will take the spot. And now here comes Terrell in the number 7. Looks like those no tires or no stopping on that last caution flag may be hurting the 4. Here comes Bratcher. Here comes Snyder in the 44 as it looks like Lavere will be outside the top 5 before this lap is over. Matt Lacrosse now looking.
Yeah, Lacrosse now to his bumper, looking underneath. If he can get underneath the 4, he does. 4 way up the racetrack. He's using all the momentum. He's trying to keep his momentum up, trying to stop losing spots here, as looks like we're under caution.
Yellow flag will fly as we try to track down what brought out that yellow flag here, as it looks like most of our drivers that are on the racetrack now are back straight again. So trying to get an eye on who brought out that caution. Dakota, have you seen it yet?
I have not yet, but I'm looking. I do think I might have found something. I see a lot of smoke. And it might have been the 84 of it was the 84 of Jimmy North off the turn number, I want to say this is 4. No, this is actually turn number, 4. Looks like lap 17 coming through the tri-oval to 18. Just loses it.
All by himself, gets the bump the wrong way, and he will go for a loop in the corner. Bobby Terrell looking for pit road here. Could we see all our leaders back down? Monahan is going to be stuck out on the racetrack, and that's the one thing I caught on that last round of pit stops, Dakota. The 1 car was running, well, not as your leader. He was running behind your leader, and everybody else came in, and he made a last-minute decision to pull that car onto pit road. Can't really do that if you're the leader and everybody else is coming onto pit road. So Monahan going to be stuck out on the racetrack. Going to be interesting to see here what these guys do.
Even then, he only took 2 tires last time. He was able to hang on strong pretty much up front, but here we go. Leaders down on pit road. We see right sides up at least, but we see any 2-tire stops is the question. Going to be 4 tires for the leaders. I don't see many other cars coming out immediately. 10 car going to roll out. 2-tire stop for him, and he is away. 15 and 7 battling side by side. Looks like the 7 might have won off pit road.
5.06 for John Abbott, and he will win the race off pit road. He goes from 9th to position number 2, I do believe here, as I think Monahan's the only driver to stay out on the racetrack here. Indeed he is. So that'll put Abbott up to position number 2. So Abbott continues to climb here. Very quick pit stop for the number 10.
And 15 car, Justin Wilson was 2nd. He had been, up front most of the night. Started on the pole. Well, obviously one of the very fast car, has a very fast car. Has he's dropping to the rear. He was caught speeding, I do believe, on pit road and being passed by a lot of cars now, Tim.
And it looks like the last driver on the lead lap is in 23rd right now, so he will probably restart in position 23 or so, unless some other drivers do decide to come down onto pit road. Monahan is being scored as your leader, as Jimmy North will also join Justin Wilson at the rear of the field, as he will fall back outside the top 20 here, but I'm sure Jimmy North has a good race car. I'm sure he's been testing a little bit here for this race at Rockingham, and he still has a long way to go. He's still got over 125 laps when we go green to get this thing back to the front. 150 laps to run. We are on lap number 21.
There's still a lot of time, for things to change, for people to get their cars fixed, go back up to the front. You got to keep your eye on right now. What I've been watching is the 24 car. He's sitting now back in the 15th position. That is the points leader. Had restarted around 23rd last time. I think he came back down pit road. Was trying to be the last car out. Maybe not happy with his car. Maybe a little insecure. Doesn't want to get caught up in a wreck, and was kind of slowly working his way through the field. Now up to the 15th position. I think he's going to be starting to move his way towards the front. But not quite sure exactly what's going on with the 24.
Running about mid-pack, and as you mentioned, still a long way to go to get to the front, and a long time to get there for Stefan Marinek, as your leaders are double file. It's the 1 of Clint Monahan and the 10 of John Abbott. And as we had on the last restart, Dakota, we have your leader that did not stop. We have the 10 car who has 2 tires, and then we have everybody else behind them who have 4 tires on their race car. So we'll see how long the number 1 lasts up in front. CJ Levere, your leader on the last restart, lasted about a lap or so up there, and then he fell back to 6th before the caution flag flew. We'll see what Monahan has, see if he has a little more car than car number 4 did on that last run. Pace car and Monahan in control of the field, and here he goes. Green flag flies. Bratcher was waiting to go on that restart. He goes to the outside of Terrell, and he will take 3rd at the line, and he'll look for 2nd going down to the corner. Terrell fights back on the inside, though, side by side for 3rd.
Like that was a very bad restart at all for the 15, or the 15 had a really bad restart to that.
Guy Snyder, the 4th, is sliding that race car around the racetrack as the 10 of John Abbott going to go to the lead here off corner number 2. Abbott to the point, the 1 of Monahan stuck to the outside, and this might be what we saw in the last restart, Dakota, with CJ Levere. The 1 is stuck to the outside line. He did not stop on that last caution, and the freight train coming through on the inside.
I was trying to say that the 38 car did not have a bad restart whatsoever, and I don't know where I was, but 10 car going to lead. As he does take out the lead, gets a little loose off of the corner. Got to watch out for the 7 cars. The 10 is on 2 tires. Monahan going backwards exactly like we saw the 4. And how about the 4? He's currently sitting in the 5th position. He's in the top 5 after staying out last time. He's got tires on it now, and he's still out front.
The 1 car stops the bleeding at position number 6 in front of Dave Lanza. And we see this racetrack, and it might be a product of the setup, too, being a little bit loose on these race cars. We saw Snyder on those cold tires really slide that car around, trying to pick up a couple of spots when Dave Lanza let that 1 car in line, and it might not have been by choice, letting that number 1 car into line. He had to let off a little bit, and a little bit of a scary moment there is John Abbott going to lose the lead here up front to Bobby Terrell, and here comes the 38 of Mark Bratcher as Terrell goes to the lead, and Abbott looks like on those 2 tires is going to go backwards here too.
We had our on-track incident here just laps ago. Actually, it was lap 26. 12 car of the racetrack. This is around the 15th position. 12 car Douglas White was on the outside of the 15 of Justin Wilson. The 62 just shot up the racetrack and collected him. As I do believe caution is out currently.
And I see the 40 car Joey Hilton on the apron, so 40 of Hilton going to bring out the caution flag here, and another one of those wild rides, and it looks like it's all by himself in corner number 2. He's on the apron in the middle of 1 and 2. Looks like Dakota, he lost it in the middle of the corner, gets on the apron trying to save it, and still can't do the deed as the 40 car will hit the inside wall after hitting the outside wall, and he does a Carl Long down the back straightaway. up and over, and the 40 car will be done for the evening, I would say. He's down on pit road now, and I'm sure the crew is just shaking their heads. We got a couple of fakers at the end of pit road here. A couple of drivers staying out and a couple coming in. Guy Snyder, the first to head down.
That's going to be 44 of Guy Snyder subbing for Glenn Campbell. He comes down. Going to be a few cars staying out here, actually, it looks like. But it is Snyder leading the way. We'll see, probably going to be a 4-tire stop, but it has not been that long. It might have been around 10 laps, actually. So could see 4 tires, could see 2. We'll just have to keep our eye on things here.
44 taking 4 tires, but there's one driver out there that snuck out. No, that's the 15 of Wilson coming onto pit road there. I thought Wilson was a little bit quicker than that. 44 is going to get off pit road, but he will be beat off by Bratcher, and I believe Bratcher took 4 tires, so a quicker stop by the 38 car to win the race off pit road. But Dakota, they were not the only ones on pit road. There was a bunch that stayed out on the racetrack, Bobby Terrell being the first to stay out.
Yeah, when I look at who all stayed out here, I'm going to try to go through everybody. We have Jimmy North stayed out. He's in position 12. Steve Almendo, Stefan Marinac, Matt Lacrosse, AJ LeVere, John Abbott, and Bobby Terrell. And that's going to be all that stayed out right there is what it's appearing. But how about Marinac using a little bit of strategy to get back up towards the front maybe here. So he'll be scored now inside the top 5. He'll be actually 5th.
Want to give a thank you out to one of our partners that helped put on this series this evening, Dakota, Inside Sim Racing, sponsoring the Thursday Night Real Sim Racing series. Inside Sim Racing is your first and best choice for all the news and reviews in online motorsports. Join Darren and Sean for the latest and greatest in product reviews, simulation auto racing games for PC and the Xbox crowd, from steering wheels to full-size racing rigs, updates on popular racing games, and a whole lot more. They are the yellow pages of online auto racing. Inside Sim Racing has it all. Visit them at isrtv.com, and one of the proud partners, along with Derek Spear Designs, of this RSR Asphalt Assault series. And I'm sure they're watching, putting on a great show here this evening, are these drivers. Bobby Terrell and John Abbott going to lead our field back to green. And the one thing that's interesting here on this restart, we're going to see Mark Bratcher back in about 8th place right now. Guy Snyder might be coming down pit road here. He might just be on the apron. Yeah, he's just going to be on the apron here. But Mark Bratcher going to start in position number 8 in the 38. He is the first driver with tires on his race car. Everybody in front of them did not stop on this caution. So I'm sure Bratcher will be in a hurry to get to the front. It's just a matter of how long it takes him to get there and how the traffic in front of him reacts and how it gets going here on this restart. Watch the 38 and watch the 44 back there.
Definitely got to keep it around the 7 car. Just been down for 4 tires. He was very comfortable up front, really quick up front as well. Has been top 3 since about the start of the night. So we'll have to keep our eye on the 7 cars. He is the leader. Has no one to go through here. He is on some of the fresher tires than more people up here. At least the 10. He's on fresher tires than the 10. The 4 is on even tires with him, but the 4 is going to have to keep up with them when they get going here as we work through 3 and 4, Tim.
Getting ready for a restart, the first racing Ford Mustang pace car getting ready to head to the infield. Bobby Terrell has won 4 races this season. He's looking for a 5th. He likes these 1 mile and under racetracks. We'll see if he can't pick up another victory here at one of the shorter tracks on the circuit. Green flag flies, and we are back underway. The 10 car, John Abbott, looks like he gets a decent start on the outside line. He'll fall into 2nd as CJ LeVere will come into 3rd. It's side by side for 4th. Here comes your point leader, Marinac, and Matt Lacrosse going to lose position number 4 to your point leader.
And 24 just cleanly moves up from the 21. 81 and 38 going at it just behind them, as well as the 84 and 44. Side by side, 44 wiggles to 38, gets sideways as well. Outside lane just kind of sideways, it appeared right there, as it looks like 44 going to make up the spot. The 88 almost gets turned, almost made contact with the 38 if he didn't as well. 44 going to go around the 81 as well.
And it's really hard to judge, especially when you see a lot of those cars come up on the outside and you're not sure how quicker they are than you. The 84 and 81 are trying to find their footing at a corner number 4, but that 38 and 44 machines, they were rim riding using the BR line up there on the outside line to get past some of the slower traffic, or the traffic that has no tires compared to the 4 tires that they just put on their race cars on that last stop. And now it's going to be a battle here for position number 4, I do believe, as Marinac and Lacrosse have company in Bratcher, and I believe they'll have company in a few laps too of Guy Snyder if Bratcher can't dispose of these 2 in front of him.
think these two could see definitely the Bratchers right there. You see 21 actually making up some time on the 38 and getting up on the 24 as quickly as he possibly can. He wants to get the position back, wants to run away if he possibly can. Meanwhile, up front, Bobby Terrell has snuck away to about a 7-10 second lead as the 21 gets sideways big time, checks up the 38. 38 goes to the outside lane and looking to make up the pass and take over the 5th position.
But it's not over yet. The 38 going to go to the outside. 21 going to hit the apron. Save it, Matt. Great save there as he will lose that spot, but he could have lost a lot more. Of the 44 going to gain a little bit of momentum here as the 21 loses some momentum. 44 grabs the apron going into corner number 3. That will not help his efforts as the 21 and Matt Lacrosse sliding that race car around. Just behind them, I believe Bo McGuire and Matt Hoffman may have had a moment. 50 car had to fall back a couple of spots there, and he continues to fall back on that outside line. I thought he was headed towards the wall there for a moment.
What a save by the 50 car to, just hanging on up there. But, wow, all these cars are on edge all over the place. See the 44, man, he is sideways. He does it again. He saves it. 81 gets to his bumper, shoots down to the inside, battle for position. 44 is going to likely lose another spot here, it looks like.
Oh, we might lose the race car as the 81 and 44 continue to go at it, and 44 and 84 now going to go at it. Jimmy North trying to pick up a spot, but these drivers, it looks like more of a hockey match compared to a racetrack because these guys seem to be skating these race cars all around. Lot of loose on these race cars as the 84 puts that 44 to the outside. Here comes Dave Lanza in the 33, and you see it with the 81 of Almendo the last couple of laps, Dakota, when he's side by side with somebody as the 1 and 44 nearly make contact. He gets it into the corner, and it looks like he just gets in a little hot, and the thing gets a little bit loose, and he tries to save it, and hopefully he doesn't hit a car on the outside or slow up enough and the car hits him behind. It's an exciting little racetrack that we have here this evening with this race car.
And, man, I'm so concerned about the 44 right now. You see the 44, he gets sideways again. I mean, he has got to be one of the worst cars on the racetrack right now, handling-wise. I don't know whether he's using too much rattle or, what's going on with the 44 car, but something is wrong with that car. It's, pushing up the racetrack, getting all kinds of sideways. Once again, 50 car now shoots underneath for the position. Guy Snyder has fallen back from about 6th position, 7th position, even to, outside the top 10, nearly outside the top 15.
Yeah, he needs something to happen here, whether it's a caution or something, because he needs to stop the bleeding somehow. He's behind Bo McGuire in the 50 car right now, and he's up the racetrack in the 44, and he'll lose one more to, I believe that was Matt Hoffman in the 43 car. So Guy Snyder continues to fall in the 44. Meanwhile, one driver that is having no problem whatsoever, Bobby Terrell in the 7. He leads by 2 seconds, and the battle is for second. Abbott just took it from C.J. Levere, and here comes Mark Bratcher on the 4 for position number 3. 38 looking to the inside of the 4.
He didn't quite have the momentum quite coming off of turn number 4, but he has it going into 1. He's able to shoot the car underneath and make it stick there. He's got fresher tires than both of these cars, I do believe. Shoots up the racetrack, clears the 4 car, and that's at the sights back on getting back up to the 10. But the 10 has really gapped the 38 in just a little bit of time as they were racing side by side.
So the 38 has about 4 car lengths or so to catch the 10 of John Abbott, but continues to be the 7 of Terrell leading this race and pulling away. Last time behind 24:37 for your leader to a 24:36 for Abbott. So Abbott just a little bit quicker that last time by over your leader, but they've got 2.5 seconds almost between your top 2 drivers, so there's a little bit of real estate there now. Top 5 single file. Marinek is closing in on the C.J. Levere machine for position number 4. That's your closest battle within the top 5 right now, as I believe Monahan back here in the 1, Dakota, may have lost 2 spots.
Yeah, Clint could be experiencing a really loose car as well as the 44. He's kind of like a little similar to the 44. The way he's driving the car, maybe just a little sideways every once in a while. He's not quite as bad as what the 44 is, but I mean the 1 car not looking quite as happy as say he could be here as he tries to run around in the 9th position.
Just behind him, I believe he has a side-by-side battle with 84 and 50 in his rearview mirror. Jimmy North trying to hold off Bo McGuire. McGuire in the 50. We've seen some races this season that McGuire has had solid runs going, just could not seem to close the deal. Now he's on the inside of Jimmy North. looking for position number 10. He's not going to do it going into corner number 1, but he's going to have a run. 84 way up the racetrack, and Bo McGuire is now in the top 10 as he makes the pass off corner number 2.
Yeah, I think we see. I think we actually saw quite a bit of the 50 car, especially at Talladega. As he gets sideways, 50 car had smoke coming out just a little bit. He's all right. He gets down the apron. He's all right. 84 looking to the outside maybe, but avid dirt track racer, so he knows how to hang on to a race car. I think we saw quite a bit of him at Talladega, which was one of his more memorable races. As the 81 gets sideways, but he's had some really strong runs this season. I think he's had a lot of bad luck. Got caught up in a few incidents that he had nowhere he could go. Several times this season actually. So 43 now looking to get up to the 84.
Switch in position number 2 as Mark Bratcher will go to the spot, and John Abbott will be in position number 3. Now we'll see what Bratcher has in clean air and if he can catch Bobby Terrell. The last time by, keep in mind, Terrell was encountering some lap traffic in the 09 at John Ellers. Terrell this time by goes to a 24.59 to a 24.56 for Mark Bratcher. So Terrell just a little bit slower than Mark Bratcher, and of course he was competing with a little bit of lap traffic there. So we'll see if Bratcher can make any inroads on your leader, because it's currently 2.8 seconds between your top 2. Abbott, LeVere, and Marinak complete your top 5. As we complete the 50th lap, we are 1/3 of the way through this race.
Bratcher, he's really quick. I think we have to keep our eye on him, whether he's able to run down the 7 or not, though. I know he does have fresher tires, but that won't mean a whole lot when it comes to a 2.5 second gap, especially if Bobby's able to just hold off till pit stops. I think he'll be all right. But who's to say that the 38 can't go that little bit further, that maybe he can make it a 1 more stop or 2 more stops, or 1 stop less than the 7 as he shoots through down the racetrack. 38 car is around on the racetrack, second position, right for the 10, nearly collects the 10, collects the 4 just a little bit. They make some contact, and caution might be out on the racetrack.
This should bring out the caution flag, and here comes the pace car. So tough break for Mark Bratcher in the number 38. It just seems like Dakota, when he gets a good run going, something seems to bite him, and this time it's all his own misfortune. He goes to the inside of the lap car, misjudges the lap car, and he goes around, and it's nothing wrong that the 09 did. I don't think the 09 did a whole lot wrong. He goes up the racetrack a little bit, maybe throws the 38 off a little bit for a loop, and the Zaloop number 38 will go around and bring out our caution flag, and this should bring Bobby Terrell and the rest of the field down onto pit road.
Well, I really think it was just the way he entered the corner. It was just, he shot down the racetrack to miss the 09. Maybe he was coming up on the 09 a little faster than he thought he was. And he just got the apron, I think, and just got a little sideways. Locked it up, nothing he could do, held it down, only made contact with a 4. So he did a good job of keeping it off of the cars. Now it's just going to be on how much damage he has or how much has to be fixed here to keep the car competitive.
Bobby Terrell, the good thing for the 7 car here, Dakota, is he has a whole lot of a gap between himself and the 10 of John Abbott, because he had lapped a couple of cars there, and he has a little bit of breathing room between he and second place as he comes on to pit road. Right sides are going to go up on the Muscle Milk number 7. It looks like we are going to take 4 tires here, and there really shouldn't be any gamble with that little bit of green flag running that we've had. 4 tires for the 7 of Terrell, and he is down and away, and he will handily win the race off pit road. LeVere comes off in second. Abbott, and it was close for 4, 24, and 15. I believe the 24 may have got Justin Wilson at the line. We're going to step away for just a few moments' time, and we'll bring you back to some live racing at the Rock. We are just past the 1/3 mark in this RSR Asphalt Assault Series race presented by Inside Sim Racing and Derek Spear Design.
plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even all that unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Travis, start your engines!
Back to the rock and back to racing as Bobby Terrell puts the hammer down, and a little bit of a jackrabbit restart back about mid-pack as a couple of drivers nearly stacked it up mid-pack. It is Terrell and Abbott getting away. Levere trying to hold off Justin Wilson for position at number 3 as they go down the back straightaway. Wilson trying to take it away.
There's a name we haven't heard much about lately, the 15 car. Justin Wilson coming back to the field after speeding penalty. He started from the pole, dominated the first 10 laps, but after that it was all downhill as he had to go through a few cars, and then the strategy played out, and then that speeding penalty. But now he's back up to the field. He's up to third.
And it's a strong third. He had some strong efforts in the first half of this race. We'll see what he can do now that he has position number 3, and John Abbott way up the racetrack and into the fence off corner number 4. John Abbott gonna lose 1, 2, 3 spots here, and I don't know how bad the toe is knocked out in that race car, but he went for a hell of a slide in corner number 4.
Did a fantastic job of saving that thing as well. I mean, he put it in the wall, but he at least he didn't come down and collect a few other cars. That could have been dangerous, and that would have put us in a caution once again. So I think he did a fantastic job of just saving that car right there.
And you see that car going up into the fence, and now he's got to find a place in line and really reset. We talked about hitting your marks and putting a rhythm into this racetrack, Dakota. The 10 car now to the outside, and he's trying to find a place in line, and then he's got to reset and get a rhythm going here.
He's just got to hang on here, though. As get going once again and get his momentum back up and get focused once again on what's going on. Get his line back. I think he'll be all right here. Just have to hang on until he gets a pit stop to fix the damage.
We head 3 wide around position number 7. Guy Snyder in the 44. Bo McGuire, the 84 of Jimmy North are going at it here. And they were 3 wide. That was nearly a caution on the front straightaway as the 84 looks underneath the 50 car here at around position number 9. Steve Almindo just behind this, as well as North will pick up the spot. The 81 to the inside in the 50 car, scaring the safer barrier in corner number 1 and 2 as the number 81 will take the spot over Bo McGuire and will begin to close in on Jimmy North.
And just behind him, the 43 car just behind the 50 car is the 43 just behind the 50 car. Sorry, the 38 looking underneath, got sideways. 38 working back to the field after receiving damage from being in the last caution, being the cause of the last caution. As we might be sideways set up there once again. The 81 is now inside the 84 car, working side by side. He clears the 84, takes a position. That should put the I do believe the 81 up to the 9th position. So the 84 shoots back to the outside. They get both sideways there.
And that little bit of a slide opens the door for Jimmy North. Drag race down the front straightaway, and North will have the spot at the line. Watch the 50, 43, and here comes the 38 again of Mark Bratcher to the inside line, and he nearly got cut off by the 43. these guys are racing like it's the last lap of the race, and we have less than 100 laps to go in this event as the 84 and 50 are side by side. The 38 continues to close in as he has the 43 between himself and the 84-38. Where does he go now? Looking to the inside line is Jimmy North, trying to find a spot in line. He's not going to find it with the Zaloop number 38 as Bratcher picks up one more.
Bratcher almost clear, but he's still got to be kind of worried here. 84 still to his outside. He cleared him into the corner there, and now Bratcher works to the outside of the 43, and Matt Hoffman subbing for Doug Roth.
And he will pick up the spot there, so the 38 car continues to move to the front of the field. And Jimmy North and the 84 continue to fall back through the field. Brian Harvey in the 66 looking to pick up one more spot here as he almost picked up the 84 in the right rear quarter, and that would have spelled trouble for Brian Harvey. Keep in mind, Harvey comes into this race, Dakota, 11th in the point standings. He's going to gain a top 10 spot here with the Doug Roth machine not gaining any points, or he should be able to gain that spot. So he should be top 10 by the end of the evening, and points will be Brian Harvey in the 66. But of course, he wants a little bit more than that, so he's trying to gain some more points here.
And that's what you got to do is, go for every point, go for every position you can get, and that's how you run well in the point standings. That's how you get top 10s, top 15s in the points, or even in the top 5. You got to go for all the points you can, all positions you can.
And just in front of him, or that was Brian Harvey, went up the racetrack a little bit there. 43 had a moment off corner number 2 as he will be passed now by the 66 car of Brian Harvey. Harvey to the outside as he looks to take the spot away from number 43 of Hoffman. Here comes the 10 of John Abbott. Abbott in the number 10 after hitting the wall a little bit earlier, trying to reset himself here as it looks like these cars are slowing down. We have a caution on the Speedway.
And the caution is for the 85 car. Nathan Bauer, position number 19, lap 68, working off of, I do believe, actually into turn number 3. He goes into the corner, just gets a bump wrong, gets loose, and he got run over from behind. That was John Ellers in the 09 that will collect him. 85 then just drives off the racetrack down to the inside, puts a nose against the wall, and then tries to back up and get going there. So 85 just hits a bump wrong, gets a little loose.
And the 09 did not see him, and as you mentioned, just ran him over in the middle of 3 and 4. So tough break for Nathan Bowers. I'm sure that he'll be spending some time on pit road getting that car repaired. Here comes Bobby Terrell. And is there anybody that decides to gamble here? Your top 5, 6, 7 are coming onto pit road. Looks like most of your field is going to come onto pit road. I don't think anybody's going to gamble here. Now the next question is, do we see anybody gamble on pit road and maybe take 2 tires?
I think no matter what you do, you got to make sure you don't speed. That's what they're telling the 15 for sure. Is he's back up to front. How about that 15 car? Second position, Justin Wilson came back from a speeding penalty, was scored 23rd, I do believe, at one point in time. Back up to second as they come to their stall. We'll see exactly what they do here. Looks like right sides at least.
Right sides for Bobby Terrell, and he is going to take 4 tires, and behind him, John Abbott misses his stall to add insult to injury. Here they come off pit road, and it's going to be the 15 car winning the race off pit road, and I believe they went to that second line, or the first line, I guess, as the 7 will edge the 1 on pit road. Dave Lanza, great pit stop for the 33, and the 4 of CJ LeVere appear to be your top 5 off pit road.
Atlanta had a fantastic stop, going to put him back into the top 5, so he's looking for a really good run. I think he's had a lot of bad luck as well. There's a lot of drivers that just have been suffering from bad luck, and some drivers that haven't, but Lanza, one of those guys that, he's been struck with bad luck. He's actually got a pretty good run going, though. I think he had one going as well last week before, I want to say he might have been taken out. Can't quite remember, but I know he's running 4th now. Inside the top 5, that's what he's got to do.
We mentioned Inside Sim Racing a little bit earlier. Let's mention Derek Spear Design, now one of the sponsors of the Asphalt Assault Series on Thursday nights here on ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network. Derek Spear Designs manufactures top-shelf simulation racing components such as pedals, shifters, button boxes, and more. Reasonably priced, this is the kind of gear a championship sim racing driver needs. Bulletproof and boot stomping strong. See his gear at DerekSpearDesigns.com. And Derek is one of those guys, Dakota, that really stands by his products. and means well and puts all his blood, sweat, and tears into these products that he makes, be sure to go over and check out DerekSpearDesigns.com and grab yourself a button box or a sim racing shifter or something like that to try to bring yourself up to that next level and maybe gain a couple of tens.
And if you don't believe us, go ahead and try it for yourself. I have a feeling you're going to find out exactly what we just told you. Right, Tim?
Indeed, I haven't tried one of the button boxes yet. I've talked to Derek, and he has a lot of satisfied customers that put those button boxes to good use. So check out DerekSpearDesigns.com, get yourself one, and be sure to tell us how you enjoyed your Derek Spear Designs button box or sim racing component. We are double file getting ready to go back to green. We have 73 laps completed. We will be 2 laps shy of the halfway point when we see the green flag. Justin Wilson, Bobby Terrell, Clint Monahan, your top 3.
Lanza back up to 4th, Lavere 5th with Marinac, points leader, sitting in the 6th position. Snyder sitting in 7th after getting way sideways, falling outside the top 10 earlier. Lacrosse 8th, Almendo 9th, and McGuire 10th, rounding out the top 10. Here we go, getting set for the green flag.
Getting ready for the green silk, the first racing Ford Mustang pace car going to dive off right here. Justin Wilson back in command. Green flag flies, and the 7 of Bobby Terrell has company in Clint Monahan. Can he close the door here on the number 1 going into corner number 1? He lets it open for a little while, and then he's going to take it from the number 1 of Monahan. Side by side, just behind them, Lanza on the outside in the 33, trying to hold off CJ Lavere in the 4, as the 4 going to let the 33 have the run into the corner, and the subsequent position for the 33 of Dave Lanza. Keep a half eye on the 1 of Clint Monahan, all over the back bumper of Bobby Terrell.
24 side by side inside of the 24 car for the top 5 position out there, for the 6th position actually, as the 44 gets the upper, gets sideways, comes up the racetrack, nearly collects the 21, almost a caution on the racetrack.
44 and everybody else behind had to hold their breath. Here comes Mark Bratcher on the inside. Bratcher is going to be the beneficiary here as he picks up a couple of spots. He will go to position number 8 in the number 38 car, and dispatch Lacrosse denied. Oh, the 69 gets sent by the 50 of Bo McGuire. Augusto Gabaldoni was... I don't know what he was doing there. I saw the 69 go from the inside to the outside line. The 81 was on the outside, and it looks like the 69 missed the turn, Dakota. I don't know how else to explain that. He just essentially went straight going into the corner, and Bo McGuire nowhere to go. Bo was going to the outside line and couldn't get slowed up in time before he got into Gabaldoni. So a tough break for Bo McGuire. Really nowhere to go there.
I don't think he could have really gotten any higher there without, getting up into the wall or, throwing him off and possibly just, getting loose, wrecking the car, hitting a bump rung, something like that. So I think he was in a perfect spot, just know where he could go. 69 actually claiming the incident. So 69 maybe just overshooting the corner there.
And he and the 81 were going at it for the position up in front. Who comes to pit road and who stays out? 15 comes to pit road. 7 stays out. 1 stays out. 33 stays out. CJ Lavere comes in. Marinac stays out. Snyder stays out. We got a mixed bag up here, Dakota, as your leader comes on to pit road, and about half of the drivers running outside the top 5, I do believe, are going to come in.
About that 15 actually reclaimed the lead on, in that little run we had. He's now down on pit road. He comes to the attention of his crew as he now stops in his stall. Right side's going to go up on that 15 machine at least, and there they are.
15 going to take 2 tires on the right-hand side, and why not? Let's take 4 tires to the 15 of Justin Wilson, waiting for the jack to drop. He is down and away in the 15 car as he will rejoin the field. Bobby Terrell will be your leader, and we'll see what Justin Wilson can do. And I don't want to say it's a boring little racetrack here, but you only had 5 or 6 different laps on those tires, and I go back to Ray Alfala last night in the truck series that we had, the RSR Outlaw Truck Series. Got a little bit bored at Michigan, was running up front. I want a challenge. I'm going to go to the rear of the field, going to come in and take some tires. Maybe this is what the 15 car, Justin Wilson, is doing. Maybe he's trying to get a little bit of a challenge out of this one and try to give that 15 car for Rhett McBride a little bit of a run here.
Well, there's one way to have fun with it, or maybe just throw it off by the strategy. Either way, he's going to pass a lot of cars to get back up to the front.
Let's step away for a quick commercial break. We'll be back for some more racing here at the Rock. We are halfway in round number 15 of the RSR Asphalt Assault Series.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Field forming down the back straightaway here at the Rock. We are getting ready to see some more green flag racing. Bobby Terrell, Clint Monahan, Dave Lanza, Stefan Marinek, Steve Almindo did not pit on that caution flag. We have Justin Wilson as the first driver on 4 tires. We'll see what he can do to carve his way to the front from position at number 6 as the first racing Ford Mustang pace car getting ready to peel off the racetrack. And we will see some green flag racing here. Pace car in, Terrell in command of the field, and the green flag will fly as a little bit of a slower restart there, almost stacking some guys up here within the top 10, 4 and 15, trying to get going here from about position number 6. They're going to lose a lot of time as they battle side by side in front of them for the moment. Oh, Monahan up the racetrack. Here comes 2481 to the inside. Marinek and Almindo going at it.
Here's the 15. He's coming to the bumper of the 1 on the outside lane. Nowhere really for the 15 to go. 38 sticking to the inside of the 15. 15 clears the 38. Is able to come down now if he wants to. Looks like he will give room to the 38. Takes the spot. Sticks to the inside just behind him. Now the 81 gets sideways out the corner. 15 shoots up the racetrack. Goes up and around him. And now sets his sights on the 1 car, who is now back down in single file on the inside line.
38 also trying to the outside of the 81. Now he'll dive to the inside of Almindo to try to pick up one more spot. That would be for position number 7, as Bratcher will go to the position. Terrell, Lanza, Marinek, your top 3. Monahan has fallen to 4th, and Justin Wilson hasn't really been able to make a whole lot of ground. He sits in position number 5, 1 position up from where he started 2 laps ago, and he will look at Monahan for position number 4 here as the 15 gets a great run at a 4 and looks to dive somewhere to take the spot away from Monahan. Monahan has that inside line, and the 15 has nowhere to go here but trying to make something happen.
Yeah, I think what he's doing right now, you'll see, get real close to the 1 car. He's trying not to touch him, but just get close enough to maybe make the 1 make a mistake, scare him. Make the 1 look at his bumper or look in his rearview mirror. That's what's going to make the 1 make a mistake. Clip Monahan, and that's what the 15 is trying to do, so he can slip underneath the 1 car and take the spot possibly here. I mean, you don't ride that close to somebody without expecting to gain something out of it.
Oh, he dove it in there and almost got into the 1 of Monahan, but he backs off a little bit. I thought the 15 is going to have that run to really put it in on the number 1 of Monahan, but he is there looking to make a mistake out of the number 1 as the 44 goes around, and I believe this may bring out a caution flag here for Guy Snyder.
It will. Caution flies. The 44 car is around. It is through turns, so I do want to say turns 1 and 2. But I am wrong. This is 3 and 4, I do believe. Lap 85, position 11, 44 car. Just gets loose and shoots up the racetrack. Collects the 21. That's the 2nd time he gets the 21. 21's nowhere to go. And that will be the caution as the 44 drives away. Claims the caution. That is Guy Snyder, subbing for Glenn Campbell.
And he saw those drivers in front of him side by side, and gets a little bit loose, tries to correct it, and overcorrects it into the fence. The 21 gets into him, and then going down into corner number 1, he's going to spin it again as he tries to keep that car straight. So Guy Snyder looks like he might spend some time on pit road as well, getting some damage repaired to that race car because it's tracking the wrong way. Bobby Terrell is going to come on to pit road, and he is going to bring some friends along with him as your top 10 or so will come down pit road, and for that matter, I believe everybody on the lead lap is coming onto pit road.
Now here's the question, who gambles, who doesn't? Do we see any gambling? 15 car was just on pit road just a few laps ago. He has fresher tires than most of these guys. He could actually take 2 if he really wanted to. 7 car, probably going to see 4 tires from him as he is leading the field. Once again, he comes now down into his stall. He's going to stop to the attention of his crew. Right side's going to go up on that machine as the 15 pulls in and just now stops. So right side's up on the 7, and just as quickly they are down as the crew goes to the left side. It's definitely going to be a 4-tire stop. 15 is going to take 4 tires. 81 out with 2, though, as the 7 car going to win the battle off the road. It does look like 15 going to pick up a few spots maybe as he comes out what would be actually 4th as the 81 beat him out.
And actually, the 81 of Almendo does not take anything. He overshoots his box and tries to park in the box and does not he does not get any service to his race car. The crew would not service the car with the way he was parked, so he will pull out, and I'm sure he'll come back in here. He did not take anything whatsoever on his pit stop, and he will stay out on the racetrack here as Steve Almendo will not be taking tires on this pit stop, and he'll be out in front of the field. It looks like a couple of drivers will try to get the wave around here on this caution flag. Dakota, the 84 of Jimmy North, the 10 of John Abbott, and the 50 of Bo McGuire. He's going to surrender that as he comes on to pit road in the 50 car. So there's at least 2 drivers going to get back on the lead lap here if they stay out in front of your leader, Almendo, and John Higman Jr. will get 1 of his 8 laps back.
And 81 still has a few laps to pit. He did come down the first time, and the rule is now on the iRacing service that if you don't pit the first 2 laps that the pits are open for lead lap and lap down cars, then you can't pit anymore. But if you do come down at least once, you can come back down later with 2 to green, 1 to green, really whenever you want to come down. So the 81 still has time to come down. Maybe you just want to stay out lead a lap here, as it looks like he actually might. He is on the apron, but I don't know whether he'll be coming down or what here.
It looks like he's going to come down on the pit road here and get service to his race car. And you mentioned it, and it bit me last night in the Outlaw Truck Division here. You cannot pit with 1 lap to go. They closed the pits with 1 lap remaining. I stayed out, tried to lead a lap, didn't know there was no lap down cars, and ended up getting caught with a black flag. And that's a black flag that you have to serve, and it's a 15-second penalty. I would know because I went through it there last night. Bobby Terrell and Stefan Marinek will lead your field to green, and I think this is the first time this evening that we've talked about your point leader, Dakota, on the outside line in the top 2.
I would say so. 24 car, definitely going to start from the 2nd position. I have a feeling he's going to stay at the top 5. When he gets up front, he stays up front. It's almost always with a 24 car, and he really used a little bit of strategy to get up here, and now he's got the car working for him, running top 5. Fantastic run for him once again.
So we will see what he has here and whether he can stay up with some of these drivers that have been up front for a majority of this evening. The first racing Ford Mustang pace car to the infield. We have 60 laps to go as Terrell going to see that pace car duck off here. Here he comes. Green flag flies, and when does the 7 go? He goes right here, brings him down a little bit slower, and it's going to let the 15 go to the inside of the 24. No, he's not going to stick it in down the straightaway. He's going to have half a bumper there going into the corner, and it's side by side for 2nd, and Marinek going to let him have it. Now Marinek falls back 3 wide. Not going to work, boys, as the 33 of Dave Lanza almost got stuck in the middle, and that was almost a huge wreck.
24 or 33 actually shot at the track just a little bit afterwards. He got a little sideways, hanging on to it though, but he does lose a few positions. Maybe 15, the biggest winner out of this, takes over the position. Gets a bit of a gap between him and the 24 cars. The 24 gets a little sideways off of turn number 2.
Trying to fight some cold tires on this restart as the 4 and the 1 going at it for position at number 4 as Monahan looks underneath the 4 of Levere for position number 4. Down into corner number 1, the 33 and 38 are there as well. Bratcher trying to come back up to the front of the field after being in second and spinning. The 33 of Lanza nearly runs out of racing real estate as he is underneath CJ Levere. This is the battle for 5th as they work through 3 and 4.
And 33 almost clear the 4. Looks like he might pull up. He will. He's going to take over the position. So 33 up another spot. It's going to put him into the top 5. Lanza, again, continuing a stellar run, trying to make it a full run, though, instead of a quarter of a run as we've seen. He's just run into trouble, so he's got to hang on, make sure he's really safe here, as it was really sideways a little earlier. Meanwhile, Bratcher goes around the 4 of CJ Levere as well. Gets the apron a little bit, but he is still going.
We come across the line to complete lap number 94 and begin lap number 95. Bobby Terrell is your leader. Wilson has made his way to second. Marinek in third. Monahan Lanza top 5, and they have a little bit of breathing room between each other. CJ Levere keeping Mark Bratcher honest, back at position number 6 and 7. That's the 38 and 4 car, respectively. J. Randall Watkins loose in the 27. He's going to have the 12 of Douglas Wyatt to his inside.
That's one thing. You make a mistake, you get a little loose. Even if you have to save the car, that's going to open up maybe a little bit of room or enough time for the 12 car or somebody behind you to come over, take the position. Now he's kind of slowed up and he's giving up a lot of momentum. 66 car running up to him as the 27 car up the track repeatedly, not quite able to run towards the bottom. You see 66 even pushes it up there though. 62 now trying to looks like he's trying to use the inside, get around the 66.
66 of Harvey trying to hold on to a top 10 run, but he's going to the outside line, and that's a lap down car to the inside of John Higman Jr. He is actually 8 laps behind the pace, not for position 66 and 62, as Brian Harvey will fall back. And saw a puff of smoke up there. Somebody might have cranked their car loose, as it looks like for the most part we are single file. We got one on the apron way down here, and I'm trying to get a number on that. That might be the 43 of Hoffman, and Hoffman 8 laps down on the apron trying to salvage something out of this run.
As the 43 comes up the racetrack, the 12 car shoots down the racetrack trying to miss him, and that was kind of dangerous. That's actually what happened to the 38 when he was trying to go around the lap car, ended up losing it and going into the corner after doing that. So you got to be careful coming up the racetrack exactly like that. But 43 up the racetrack now and trying to get plenty of room as he tries to get back up to speed.
Up front status quo, the first driver that really has pressure put on him is the 1 of Clint Monahan in position number 4. He's got Dave Lanza in 33. Behind him is the field coming up on some lap traffic now, and a lot of it Bo McGuire, and that's actually Marinek up there, as he and the 15 are getting close. The 48 at Coons is going to be a part of this battle here, and be a part of the battle in the wrong way as he closes in as second through 4th, and they lose a half second on Bobby Terrell in that lap with that lap traffic.
They actually lost more than that. I was actually looking at that 0.8 of a second. I mean, that's almost a full second that they lost, and they lost even more than that lap. Just about 0.6, nearly 7. So they're now 1.9 seconds behind race leader Bobby Terrell, and that was a big gap for just trying to get around lap traffic.
And now they'll have to see what they can do to try to gain some of that back, as 2nd through 5th run under a blanket. We got a spin on the front straightaway here, and that is the 09 and the 44 car of Ehlers and Snyder, and they were multiple laps down when they came together on the front straightaway.
It actually starts with Snyder, position number 17, lap 98, 44 car off of turn number 2, gets sideways, locks up the brakes, holds it down. 09 comes down, collects it, puts him on his roof, and they stay down into the grass. 44 car actually trying to go down to pit road, gets the wall there that prevents him from doing that, but 44 car going to go ahead and try to drive away from this.
Caution flag flies again as the 7 of Terrell is out in front as he come down pit road here. Your top 3 at least looking like they're going to go to pit road. No, Marinek stays out on the racetrack, and everybody else on the lead lap is going to come on to pit road. We'll see what that does to the 24 car as Terrell and the rest of your lead lap cars, and there would be 13 of them outside of Marinek, come on to pit road here. We'll see if there's any 2-tire strategies played.
I think generally we've seen 4 tires from the 7, 4 tires from the 15 almost every time they come down. Generally when we see one car stay out there, we do see 2 tires from somebody. Could be Monahan even, as he has done it before. I do believe Monahan has the right sides up, and they are down. Going to be a 4-tire stop for Monahan, it looks like. John Abbott overshoots, head to back up. 4-tire stop for the leaders as well. 7's going to beat out the 15 by a pretty good bit there. So there's race off pit road 7-15. And then after that, I do believe we have the 1 in 33, 38, and 4.
11.31 for Terrell as the 24 of Marinec is looking at the apron here, and could your leader be coming on to pit road? He's going to lose a bunch of track position if he does this, Dakota. The 24 is going to commit to pit road, and he's going to be outside the top 10 when we restart here. And he's going to have less than 50 laps to go, probably 45 to go when we go racing. I'm sure there's going to be one more pit stop, and Marinec can make something back here. But I guess if you're going to gamble and you have a 50-point lead, why not?
You know, we saw the 81 car, and I just want to use him as a reference. He stayed out, led a lap, came down pit road, was in the rear of the field. He actually, I think he might have had to restart behind some lap cars. I was looking at him running. Or in the running order, at one point in time, he was surrounded by just lap cars. He was nowhere near the lead lap cars, and that's what I think he's going to be careful of. He has a very fast car, though, so 24 car might be all right. I think he's just got to be very careful working back through traffic here.
So the 7 car of Terrell, the 51 of Wilson, will be your top 2 with Monahan, Lanza, and Bratcher. Your top 5. We have 46 to go at the stripe as Marinec will restart likely back in about 12th place or so, as there's still a couple of drivers on pit road behind him repairing damage. I see Abbott has rejoined the field at the end, and I believe Douglas Wyatt will be off pit road and still on the lead lap as Bobby Terrell will take your lead back on lap 104. We are on lap 105, and we are double file getting ready to go back to green.
Nobody waved around once again. I don't know that we saw a whole lot of drivers getting waved around here as of lately. Actually, we had Douglas Wyatt was waved around, but I think that could have been maybe a caution or 2 ago. Maybe that was this caution. So Douglas Wyatt, maybe 12 car. Lucky dog this time by.
And he will be back on the lead lap. 14 cars being scored on the lead lap, and Douglas Wyatt being the last driver on the pace of the leader as Bobby Terrell getting ready to throw the hammer down once again here as we close in on the finish of this race. We are in the final third of round number 15 of the RSR Asphalt Assault Series from the Rockingham Speedway. Pace car in, and Bobby Terrell is going to be on the hammer here right now. Green flag flies. The 1 of Clint Monahan to the inside of Justin Wilson. Wilson thought about slamming the door there when there was a half car underneath him in Monahan. Side by side, where does the 15 go? Does he fall back in behind the 1 here? He's going to have to, as Monahan goes to second.
And Monahan made up quite a bit of time on the 7 car as well, going through turns 1 and 2. 7 car, pretty stellar through the corner, and 3 4 though stays about even with the 1 car, pulls a little bit down the front straightaway here. 15 has been behind the 1 car earlier, if you do remember, applying a lot of pressure, almost made contact with him several times trying to get around him. So 15 and 1, they've been together before, and I know the 15 had quite a bit of trouble getting around him earlier, if you do remember.
So the 1 and 15 cars nose to tail right now behind your leader Bobby Terrell. The 4 car of CJ Lavere has a little bit of company in Mark Bratcher and the number 38 car. So they will go at it for position number 5 and see where they sit after this lap. 108 being worked on the board as Terrell continues to lead 0.2 of a second now on your battle for second, and it's a battle no more. Justin Wilson goes to position number 2 around Monahan. We'll see what Wilson has left in the tank here for these final 42 laps as he begins to close in on Terrell.
It looks to be quite a bit as he's quickly closing in. He had 0.4 of a second last time he crossed the start-finish line. We'll see when he comes around again, but I mean, he is gaining quite a bit of time very quickly here as he heads into turn number 3 and 4. Just, it looks like the 15 can rotate the corner. I mean, he gets down, he gets in low, is able to stay low the whole corner. A lot of other guys just pushing up around the corner, especially in 3 and 4. Not quite the 15 though, as he makes up nearly a 10th there.
Makes up nearly a tenth as he closes in on Terrell in the number 7 car. Looking through your top 5 here and back through your top 10, I see Brian Harvey in 66 is side by side with Marinek. Marinek is continuing to carve his way back up through the field. Dakota, he's up to 7th as he passed the 66, and now the 66 has company in Jimmy North as Jimmy North tries to gain one more spot and put the 66 back to 9th.
And 24 trying to come back after leading a lap. He stayed out, led a lap under caution, comes down pit road, gets tires, comes back out. Now working through traffic once again. Like I said, got to do it very safely. Don't get caught up in a wreck. He is the points leader, and he can't afford to wreck out. Even though there are a lot of cars here that really can't pass him as far as they are down lap wise. As I believe the worst he can finish currently is about 20th. If you were to wreck out right now. But meanwhile, 66 gets sideways, 84 get a look underneath them as Jimmy North, side by side for position number 8. I do believe it looks like North will get the position 66 way up the racetrack.
So Brian Harvey will fall back to position number 9, and behind them he's got a little bit of time to reset himself as Matt Lacrosse and John Abbott switch position number 10. So the 10 of John Abbott moves up to position number 10, Lacrosse back to 11th. In the number 21 car. Bobby Terrell continues to lead, but he's going to have company here as Wilson trying everything that he can to catch up to Terrell. It's about 2 car lengths now between your top 2, and Wilson continues to close here in the late stages of this race. Lap 114 being worked on the board. Behind them, Monahan has his hands full with Dave Lanza.
But if you're both on the inside, how do you make the pass there, Tim Terry? That's what the 15's got to figure out. I think he's been able to get through a lot of cars, but when it came to getting up front, when the cars were just about even, it's been really, really hard for him to make some of the passes. I think I've noticed, especially with the 1 car earlier, he was able to get by him this last time without much of a problem. But this time when he gets up to the 7 cars, running in the lead, he doesn't have to really give up a whole lot for what's in front of him. He can run wherever he wants, and he has the track position. So 15 car may struggle to get around him here. So it looks like the 7 might have pulled the 15 by a little bit.
Yeah, 7 got the 15 that time by a 24.22 to a 24.28, so 0.06 of a second that last time by. But when you're battling with low tenths, low hundreds, it makes all the difference every lap if you're quicker than the driver in front of you. Lanza has made the pass on Monahan, and now Dave Lanza moves into position number 3. We talked about Dave being strong, just could not close the deal on these late race charges, and now David Lanza is up to 3rd with less than 50 laps to go. We'll see what he can do to try to hold on.
He's doing really good. You watch him go around the racetrack. He's got a very solid line. He's running 24.415. We'll see what he runs when he crosses start vigilantly. 3.69 compared to the leaders 2.91 and the 2.57 is actually looks like Terrell just about 400s faster than Wilson that time by. But I mean, he's less than a tenth or maybe around a tenth off of the race leader, and half a tenth behind the second place car, Justin Wilson. He's running really, really, really good lap times here for sitting in 3rd position.
And if you're Justin Wilson, it only takes one mistake out of your leader. That time by, it was Wilson making the mistake, as it looks like he lost 2 tenths that last time by. Bobby Terrell at a 24.25 to Justin Wilson's 24.46. So Wilson had the mistake that last time by, and maybe he tried a little harder than he should have. Maybe he used a little bit up. That time by another tenth slower than Bobby Terrell. So maybe Wilson used up a little bit on that run trying to catch the 7.
And as we were riding on board with the 33, I think we still are, as you watch the 33 right next to the wall, comes down to the turn number 3, shoots down to the inside. 33 car, I mean, he's been very, very solid. He's running 4.97 last time by, compared to Justin Wilson's 4.40, so he's almost running equal lap times to Wilson. So he actually falls down to a 5.70 compared to the I do believe 4.40 by Justin Wilson. And Bobby Terrell in his own world with the 24.306. Wilson has definitely fallen off. I don't know exactly what he's doing, whether he's trying to mock Terrell's line or something, and it's not working. But he is definitely losing some time to this the 7 car.
Yeah, as Frank Coons will go another lap down and into the fence, goes to 48. As long as he keeps it up there, we'll be fine. But looking at that 15, it looked like that last time by through 3 and 4, he tried to adjust his line a little bit. and tried to be a little bit faster than the 7 of Terrell, and he continues to run near that yellow line on the inside and continues to lose time. It seems like Bobby Terrell, that time by was a 24.60 to a 24.62 for Justin Wilson, and Lanza was actually a 10th quicker than your second place driver. But I was about to say, it seems like Terrell is running 3s and 4s right now, and Wilson running about 0.2 to a 10th slower a lap, as Bobby Terrell now looks like he is starting to fall off the pace a little bit. Maybe not. He goes back to a 47 that time by.
I'll tell you what, if it's there, Terrell can find it, especially if it's late in the race. There's about 25 laps remaining. He's really picked up his pace. I think he was really strong earlier. Wilson was looking like he might have been the car to beat very early on. The 7 car now, though, I mean, obviously just taking over the dominant car position. I think he got up front, and he just knows where he needs to run. It's the I'm trying to think, 15 car. Anyway, Justin Wilson, it just looks like he just started to struggle. He started to change his line or do something. Or maybe it was just set up for a short run, and it's really hurting him here.
Yeah, Wilson, we've seen a lot of these short runs in this race, Dakota. 5 laps, 10 laps, nothing really a whole lot longer than a 10-lap run here in this race, because it seems to be jumbled up by a caution. But Bobby Terrell seems to really put himself in that long-run mentality, as the 43 is up in the fence and nearly catches the 15 on the way down. Matt Hoffman is 10 laps behind the pace now in the 43 car as he tries to finish this race for Doug Roth. But nevertheless, in another lap car, John Ehlers in the 09. Oh boy, Justin Wilson had to go up against the fence in order to stay off the 09 of John Ehlers, as Wilson loses a little more time there. And I want to say it's because of the lap car, but we'll see when the stopwatch clicks off another lap here and see what it compares to Terrell.
Going to be 23 laps to go across the start-finish line. You watch Wilson comes across the line now. We'll see what it says. He lost 0.2 that time. I think after he got around the lap car, he got the apron, so he was definitely thrown off, and I think it's going to take him maybe, he might be all right this lap, but I mean, it could take him up to a lap or two to get back in his rhythm. I mean, he had to change his lineup just a little bit to get around the lap car, and that can really affect the driver or change the driver's mentality to see him working to the corner and now into the back straightaway.
And back behind him, Dave Lanza hasn't been able to make a whole lot of inroads either. He gained 1/10 that time by on Bobby Terrell, 24.43 to a 24. Actually, that wasn't the last time by. It must have been the time before, as Dave Lanza trying to close in a little bit of a gap. Last time by it was a 24.63 to Terrell's 24.43. So lost a little bit of time that last time by, but he looks like he did gain a little bit on the 15 of Justin Wilson. Last time by for Wilson, 24.80 to a 24.67. So if he continues to do that, Dave Lanza might be able to catch Wilson if we go green the rest of the way. This time by 20 to go.
How about Stefan Marinak, 5th position, 24 car, looking like he just went around the 4 car of CJ Rivera, I do believe. Now setting his sights on the 1 car of Clint Monahan, just a little ways in front of him. 24 car again, coming back from, he had stayed out, let a lap, come back down pit road, and he had to start from the rear, and it looks like he's coming back to do pretty nicely here.
And I think he'll have some time to catch the 1 of Clint Monahan, but does he have enough speed left in that race car to catch Dave Lanza without a caution? I'm not sure if he does or not, as Monahan trying to hold down position number 4, about 4 car lengths or so ahead of Marinak and Levere, who battle for position number 5. Out in front, 2.3 seconds between your top 2, as Dave Lanza runs comfortably in position number 3. No pressure from behind, no pressure in front of him. About 2 seconds in front of him to the next spot, and about 2 seconds behind to Clint Monahan in position number 4, with Marinak completing your top 5. We have 13 drivers on the lead lap, and I do believe we have 17 drivers still out on the racetrack that started this race. 25 started, so it looks like we've had a few drivers fall out of this race. 8 drivers falling out of this race due to attrition, but nevertheless, we got a green flag run here, Dakota, as Bobby Terrell trying to run to the checkers.
We have a big one. Now we just have to see actually if these guys can even make it on fuel. That's a big question you got to look at. These guys did pit a little while ago, but you got to wonder, was it enough? How many laps can these guys actually go on a full tank of fuel here at Rockingham Speedway? And if they can't, how soon they have to pit?
I think these drivers can make it from where they stopped. It's just a matter of if they took enough fuel. Maybe they were thinking, like a Justin Wilson, this is going to be a short run. I'm going to be able to come back in and get some more fuel as the 12-car Douglas Wyatt goes one lap down. Maybe they had a short run mentality. Lighter fuel load. I'm going to go a little bit faster with lighter fuel load. I know I'm almost confident they can go with that full tank of fuel to the end of the race. But how many people started this run with a full tank of fuel is a different story.
I guess we'll just keep our eye on that. Tim Terry is, looks like 2.9 second lead now. Terrell has over Wilson. Lands it back to a 4.2 seconds behind the race leader in third. And we have a battle for the fifth position as CJ LeVere in the 4 machine goes around the 24 of Stefan Marinak. LeVere takes the position with ease.
So LeVere is going to try to gain at least 1 point on Marinak this evening, as it was 50 points coming in between your top 2 in points, and now 1 position separates them on the racetrack, with LeVere having the best of Marinak at this point. And the looking down through the list here, it looks like we talked about Clint Monahan and John Abbott coming in. They were tied for points, and Monahan has a couple of positions on Abbott right now. That's for 6th place in the standings, and Rhett McBride and Brian Harvey coming in. Rhett McBride being sub 4 by Justin Wilson, and you see how well Wilson's running this evening in position number 2, and Brian Harvey is back there in position number 11, so respectable run for Harvey. But when he's battling a driver that's running second in the point standings right now, it pales to comparison, I guess.
It does. And how about Matt Lacrosse back here? 10th position, 21 machine. I think it was twice he was the victim. He was caught up by Guy Snyder, the 44 machine. First time 44 gets big time sideways, comes up the racetrack. 21 just gets to the back of him just a little bit. The second time 44 loses control of the race car, ends up coming up and collecting the 21 as the 21 that goes underneath the 81 can take the position away from the 81, and the 21 received a little bit, quite a bit of damage from that incident, and I think that slowed his race car down quite a bit here as he runs a 24 8s and 9s across the start-finish line here.
And the 21 has the 81 behind him of Almendo. Almendo trying to gain 1 spot here, and Brian Harvey just behind them as well. So Lacrosse and Almendo, one of the closest battles on the racetrack right now. And as I say, that's CJ LeVere, and the 4 almost gets into the 1 of Clint Monahan going into corner number 1. The 4 to the inside of Monahan. This is for position number 4. And just behind them, Marinak and Bratcher look on, but the 1 of Monahan has company in the 4, and the 4 nearly got into the 1 in corner number 4.
Now with 10 to go, going to be 9 to start finish line. So now 9 to go as we cross the start finish line. We're closing down. It's go time as we see 38 looking underneath the 24. Going to be another battle for position. Looking for the 6th position is at 38. Very strong early on. Again, I do believe self-spun from 2nd position, trying to avoid a lap car. He fell back and trying to make up some time here.
And he's going to pass the point leader with ease, so it's going to move Marinak back 1 more spot. And up in front, Dave Lanza has taken position number 2 away from Justin Wilson. Wilson has fallen off the horse here, and he's going to try to maintain the spot as the 33 and the 15 going to go at it. The 15 look to the outside line, and I didn't catch it, Dakota, but they closed in on the 12, and I'm not sure if the lap car helped the pass or not. I guess he didn't. Douglas Wyatt, not a part of that battle, but nevertheless, the 15 has fallen back. And now the 33 has the spot. Does the 15 have anything left here in these final 6 laps?
I think we just saw it off of turn number 2 there. He got up, he was on the throttle as hard as he could be, driving the car as hard as he could. He just, getting sideways. I don't think the car has the grip. I don't think it's got the handling. He might be off the line. Something's off, but that car is definitely not how it was at the start of the race. I want to say maybe he attained some damage, got the wall or something, but 15 car, I don't know that it can get back around the 33, or even if we had a caution, get back around the 7. Very quick, but it just slowed down so much from where it was at the start of the race.
And now the battle is for fourth, and it's a 3-car battle for the spot, and actually a 4-car battle. If you had Marinik back there, he's trying to get up into this 4-way dance for position number 4. CJ Levere has 5 laps to do it on Clint Monahan. They're going to come up on a lapped car here. The 12 of Douglas Wyatt. Wyatt going to be in the middle of the racetrack here. 1 catches him at a bad place. The 4 going to try to go to the inside of the 12 here and close in as the 38 of Bratcher is there. 3-car dance for position number 4 up at a corner number 4, this time by 4 to go.
4 looks to the inside, once again going to be not side-by-side. Never mind, 38 got to shoot to the outside. He was looking to make it side-by-side. Never mind, he's not able to make it stick. 4 car gets a little sideways off turn number 2, and now gets back in line behind the 1 car, looking to see if he can get back up to him and make the pass. He gets up to the bumper, gets really sideways, saves it. Can lose a lot of time. He gets turned by the 38.
He gets turned by the 38 of Mark Bratcher, and this is going to do it. Bobby Terrell going to go to victory lane, and you look at that incident there, Dakota. I know it's less than 5 laps to go, but I don't think Mark Bratcher made any opportunity whatsoever to try to stomp on the brake to avoid the 4 of CJ Levere. Levere got into it way too hot, and I'm sure if you can picture Mark Bratcher's view, and I'm sure Laura can get us a view of the 38 going into corner number 3. He sees the 4 getting in. He goes in way too hot, and then the 38 has about 4 car lengths, and just 4 car gets a little bit loose, and 38 doesn't make an effort. Tough break for Bratcher, tough break for the 4 of CJ Levere, but up in front, Bobby Terrell's going to go to victory lane as long as he can hold on for another lap and a quarter.
You know, I'm watching this from the onboard camera, and it looks like you see the 4 get sideways. He checks up, and I don't know that he was expecting the 4 to go. It looks like the 4 just kind of at the last second almost looks like it gets sideways once again. So maybe he was expecting the 4 to get going once again or something. But, you know, he just really had nowhere to go, gets in the back of the 4, turns the 4 around. I think the 4 was already sideways when he got into him, kind of, but, you know, just ended up helping him around, and that would bring up the final caution to end the race here.
We mentioned it the last couple of races, David Lanza trying to really close the deal and get a good finish. He finally does it at Rockingham. 2nd place for Dave Lanza. Justin Wilson will have to settle for position number 3 in the substitute role for Rhett McBride. Clint Monahan in 4th, and Mark Bratcher. Complete your top 5 at this point is Douglas Wyatt. For what it's worth, he's going to get the wave around. He'll be back on the lead lap, or scored in the lead lap at the end of this race, as Bobby Terrell has a half lap, and he will take over the win column, I guess, this season, Dakota, as he will be your first 5-time winner in this RSR Asphalt Assault Series, as they work up at a corner number 3 and 4 this time, and Bobby Terrell will go to victory lane for the 5th time this season. This should put him ahead of the 21 car in points of Matt Lacrosse, and Bobby Terrell will go to victory lane. Dave Lanza, Justin Wilson, top 3 is the 7, completes lap 150.
That was a race. 7 car able to, you know, hang on at the end. He was able to hang on. He had pulled over, you know, about a 2-second, nearly 3-second. I think it was even up to a 4-second by the time that they were battling for 2nd position. Able to take over that much of a gap, and, you know, when the caution flies, it was over. Bobby Terrell takes another win home this season.
5th of the season for Bobby Terrell. He's on the radio. Bobby, what are you thinking here now? 5th win in this Asphalt Assault Series.
Oh, it feels good. I mean, anytime you can get a win against these guys, it feels good.
You had that long green flag run coming to the caution that essentially ended the race. It just seemed like you had a little more car at the end of it. Were you thinking long run there at the end?
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping we'd get a good long run so I could, you know, show really what the car had, because it, you know, better on long runs, and I was able to get away from Justin there at the, you know, in the middle of the run. I got away a little bit.
This is the 5th win of the season. You talked about the competition in this series. This will close you in a little bit closer to Matt Lacrosse. Jose Gonzalez not here this evening, so it looks like you might be close to 3rd in points by the time this race is over. I know it's a long season. I know this is only round 15, but are you thinking points whatsoever?
Not really, because I mean, I'm so far behind. I've had so much bad luck, getting in other people's wrecks and stuff. I'm just trying to go out and just, run some good races, and if the win presents itself, go take it.
Next week, we head to Michigan. What does this car have at Michigan? Have you done any racing with this B-Class car at Michigan recently?
Not recently, but Michigan is kind of, to me, like, Talladega or Daytona. I mean, it's everybody can get in the draft and run good, so it's going to be, kind of a crapshoot, kind of like a Daytona, Talladega, just like that, I think.
You got some sponsors on the car and a teammate there as well that helps you through, and I know you have some final thoughts here as well before we close you off. Who makes it happen for you?
I'd like to thank you guys up in the booth, Inside Sim Racing for sponsoring it, Hippie's Paint Shop, Derek Spears Designs, Muscle Milk, Stroker Ace Team, and Red Essie Chassis Works. I'd like to thank all those guys, and thanks for the win.
There's your winner, Bobby Terrell, and I'm sure he's going to do a little bit of celebrating here with his 5th win of the season. I believe Dakota Ehrman has caught up with our 3rd-place finisher, Justin Wilson.
And here with Justin Wilson, driver number 58 machine, usually here in the 15 here tonight. I do believe subbing for Rhett McBride. Justin, valiant effort tonight. You have one of the fastest cars on the racetrack, qualified on pole. You even had a speeding penalty at one point. What was going to your mind when you got the penalty? How did you come back to the field also?
Oh, it was heartbreaking. I knew we had a fast car, and I knew we could have a run there to win. But that penalty really made me mad because I knew that I'd been back there in the back, but I worked my way up through the field pretty quick there, and right there on that last run there, I pushed it too hard, and when I shouldn't have, because I know I was faster in the long run when I took it easy, and I was trying to keep in second by racing really hard on the outside, and that's what killed me, and then it just killed me on the long run there. So
yeah, to start, we was actually wondering what was happening to you. You said you killed the car, overdrove it maybe, or burn up the tires. We were kind of wondering, was the car handling way different, being as you'd burn up the tires, or not so much?
Oh, it handled totally different than it was the whole race. We had a longer run earlier that run, and that meant it was beautiful, and I was keeping tabs on everybody's times, and I was running pretty fast compared to everybody, just a little bit quicker. But that last run it took a toll on me, and I was trying too hard, and that was the problem. And I shouldn't have done that because it probably would have turned out with a better result. But it started pushing really bad, and in some places it was snapping loose, and I had to back it off, or else I could possibly wreck it. And I don't think Rhett would enjoy me wrecking his car there.
Will we see any more of the season here in the series?
Generally, I'm just up for hire if anybody needs a sub, but for the rest of the season, unless somebody needs a sub, I won't be running in this series.
All right, well, Justin, any shout you want to throw out there real fast?
Just Inside Sim Racing for sponsoring this, and thank Rhett for letting me drive for him, and good win, Bobby, and Lanza for his 2nd place there. We had a good race there. That's about it there.
All right, well, thank you, Justin, and hopefully we'll see you more sometime this season, or even on Monday nights, Tim Terry.
And I believe that we are not going to be able to catch up with Dave Lanza, but congratulations to him on that 2nd place finish and finally being able to close the deal on a race here in this RSR Asphalt Assault Series presented by Inside Sim Racing and Derek Spear Designs. Once again, congratulations to your winner, Bobby Terrell. 5th win of the season. Next week, we head to the Michigan International Speedway. We'll see what these guys have for the big track, the big 2-mile racetrack in this Class B car for the RSR Asphalt Assault Series. That's going to do it for us here this evening. So for JD Webb, Laura Lawson, and Dakota Ehrman, my name is Tim Terry, saying we'll see you in 1 week time when we say let's go racing from the Michigan International Speedway. Keep the hammer down, and we'll see you at the track.